Okay, P1 is in running state. So after a time quantum, or because of the priority, P1 stops its execution and save the state and send it back to the ready state. For example, we'll think in first time P1 executes this much code already executed. If the state is not stored, just a minute. Sorry, students. Right. At the beginning, a P1 is in running state. So P1 stop its execution, forcefully stop its execution and save the state. If it save its state, then only in second time P1 enters to the CPU, then it can start its execution from here, because already the state of execution is stored. Okay, in PCB it is stored, process control block. Then in second time this P1 comes to here and P2 going, P3 going, likewise again. If P1 comes to CPU, then it can start its execution from here. Even program counter also helps to it. Program counter, I have explained what is program counter. Next instructions to be executed is stored in program counter. So then P1 comes to running state again, it execute remaining, not from the beginning. So in context switching, the state of a process is saved and then it is moved back to the ready state. Hope it's clear, students. Is it clear or do you want more explanation? Students, is it clear? In multi-programming, context switching is not, that means cannot be happen, because forcefully can't remove a process whenever it's executing. But in multitasking, it can be, because forcefully can, according to the time quantum, forcefully a process can be stop its execution and save the state and then send it back to the ready state again. Clear? It is called context switching. This is not context switching. Running to terminated, it is not context switching. Running to blocked, it is not context switching. Running to ready, it is called context switching. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So you have to remember, whenever a process context switch or switch back to the ready state, it is very important to save the current state. If not, if that particular process enters to the CPU again, it start execution from the beginning. So store the current state is very, very important. It can be done in, that means PCB, process control block. So program counter and the process states helps to that, right? We'll see what are the situations this context switching can be happen. Okay, I have explained what is context switching. Now I am going to say what are the situations. So what are the yeah, situations process context switching can be happen, right? One situation, don't write, I'll give a proper note, students. According to the priority, context switching can be happen. For example, a process is running on the CPU, a high priority process start its execution. For example, we'll think it is P4. A high priority process start its execution. It comes to ready queue. It is a very high priority process. So this running process stopped its execution, store its state and send back to the ready state. And P4 high priority process is there. It sent to the, it is assigned to the CPU. That is one situation how a context switching can be happen. And another situation according to the time quantum. In multitasking, according to the time quantum, if the given time quantum is finished, if the given allocated time quantum is finished, so process still running, yeah, stop the execution of that particular process, save the state and send it back to the ready state. And next process is assigned to the CPU. That is according to the time quantum, context switching can be happen. And another thing is there, if interruption is occurred, I'll explain interruption, what is interruption, then after this lesson. After context switching, we have to learn in interruption. I'll explain it in that point. Interruption occurs. So there are two kinds of interruptions, students: hardware interruptions and software interruptions. Interrupt means, that means operating system has to stop the process, running process, and answer to this interruption. Therefore, context switching is happen on that point also. Okay. Further, that means more details I'll explain in interruption part. So whenever interruption occurs, context switching is happen. And next, user mode and kernel mode, transition between user mode and the kernel mode. This is also one situation when that means context switching can be happen. User mode and kernel mode means, the basic infrastructure in between operating system and the hardware. Operating system, all the hardwares are handled by this kernel mode in operating system. So a transition between user mode and kernel mode, context switching can be happen. So these are the four situations whenever a context switching can be happen, right? We'll have a note related to this and what is context switching. Hope it's clear. If you have any doubts or questions, please let me know, students. Is there any doubts, any questions, students?
No, sir.
Right. Then we'll have a brief note related to context switching. Put the heading as context switching. Here I have given the, not context test, context switching. Okay, put the heading as context switching. Write down there. A context switching is a process that switches one process to another. Sorry, just a minute. That switches CPU from one process to another. That switches CPU from one process to another. Yeah, like that. A context switching is a process that switch CPU from one process to another. That is very simple definition for context switching. Okay. Write down second point. Whenever context switching is happened, the status of the current process has been stored before switch it back to ready state. Has been stored before switch it back to ready state. Before switch it, that means current process, before switch it, the current state of that particular process should be stored, right? Okay.
So can you repeat that point? I mean, the
Yeah.
last part.
Right. Just remind me. Yeah, Shafia, I forget the sentence. The context.
Whenever switching
Sorry.
happens.
Sorry.
Whenever context switching happens.
Right. Whenever context switching happens, the current status of the process has been stored. Whenever context switching is happened, the current status of the process has been stored before switch it back to the ready state. Before switch it back to the ready state. Okay, have you complete?
Yes, okay.
Right. And even we have to remember, I'm not giving this point. Even we have to remember that means context switching, it is that means significant time taking process. That means milliseconds, but it's a time taking process. So the frequency of context switching time increased, the time is wasting there. So in modern operating systems, they try to reduce the context switching frequency. Okay, you have to remember that point. Context switching, it is a time taking process. So if it is always context switching, it that means reduce the efficiency of the CPU. Therefore, modern operating systems, they try to reduce the context switching times. Okay, right. Thereafter, we'll write what are the situations, what are the reasons context switching can be happen, right? Put another point. Context switching can be happen. Next point, context switching can be happen due to the following reasons. Or even you can say context switching can be done due to the following reasons. First one, high priority process, sorry, comes to the ready state. A high priority process comes to the ready state. That is one situation whenever context switching can be happen. High priority process comes to the ready state. Second one, allocated time quantum finished. Allocated time quantum finished. Third one, interruption occurs. Interruption occurs. Interruption occurs. Fourth one, transition between user mode and kernel mode. Transition between user mode and kernel mode. Have you complete, students?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. That is all about context switching, students. So you have to remember what is context switching and what are the situations context switching can be happen. Even you have to remember multi-programming concept, context switching is not enabled there. That means it cannot be done because multi-programming forcefully a process running on the CPU is, that means forcefully we can't remove it. In multitasking, it is possible. Right. Thereafter, we have to learn, yeah, interrupt. Okay. Right. I'll explain it first. After that, we'll see. I will go to whiteboard then. Okay, students. So interrupt is a signal sent by a device or sent by a software to the operating system. Interrupt is a signal sent by a device or sent by an application software, sent by a software to the operating system. So whenever interrupt signal occurs, operating system has to stop its works, its function temporarily, and it has to service the interrupt signal using interrupt handler. Okay, again, I'll repeat it, students. Interrupt it is a signal which is provided by a device or from a software to the operating system. Whenever interrupt is occurs, operating system has to stop its works for a while and service that interrupt using interrupt handler. Interrupt handler is the service provider. So using interrupt handler, that operating system has to service that interrupt first. After that, it continues the process. Okay. So generally, there are two types of interrupt, students. One is called hardware interrupts, and other one is called software interrupts. If a hardware device, input device or output device, that may be keyboard, mouse, printer, projector, monitor, input device or output device, makes a signal, makes an interrupt to operating system, that is called hardware interrupt. For example, if we plug a flash drive or pen drive into our machine and we read some data, after read the data, after end of reading data, an interrupt occurs to the operating system. I have finished my work. Likewise. Okay. And I'll give another example. If we give a print, that means we are taking a print out. So if paper jammed on that printer, paper is stuck, jammed on that printer, printer makes an interrupt to the operating system. I can't continue my print work because paper is jammed there. That is called interrupt. Those kind of interrupts are called hardware interrupts. Just a minute, students. Okay, students, right? That is called hardware interrupt. So if you consider, if a software is working on the computer, that may be application software. So whenever it terminates or it requests a certain service, it is also called as an interrupt. The software is running on the computer, it needs some services, then it can make an interrupt to the operating system. So whenever interrupt is occurred, operating system has to stop its works for a while and service for that interrupt, that particular interrupt, using interrupt handler. That is the thing, that is the concept between interrupt. Clear, students? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, then there are two kinds of interrupts, hardware interrupt and software interrupt. If the interrupt is made
Yes,
by,
sir.
yeah, yeah. Is there any question, any problem? Yeah, let me know. Students, someone talk to me. Right, okay. If that interrupt is occurred by a hardware input output device, it is called hardware interrupt. If that interrupt is occurred or interrupt it is created by software, it is called software interrupt. So whenever interrupt occurs, operating system has to stop its works for a while and service for that particular interrupt by using interrupt handler. That is the concept. Clear? We'll have a note. Okay, students.
Okay, sir.
Right. Okay, put the heading as interrupt. If you have confusions, please let me know. Then only I can explain it further. I have given some examples. That means if we do a printing work, printing is going on, paper jammed, paper stuck there. So printer send an interrupt message to operating system. I can't continue my work. So operating system has to stop all its works, and according to the interrupt, it has to service the interrupt. That means, for example, operating system has to say, you wait until, that means paper jam can't be correct by software. We have to correct it. User have to correct it. So wait until that. Likewise. Okay. So if there's a software interrupt, even operating system has to stop its functions for a while and service for that particular interrupt using interrupt handler. Right. Put the heading as interrupt. First point. Interrupt is a signal. Interrupt is a signal which is sent by a device or a software. Interrupt is a signal which is sent by a device or a software to the operating system. Interrupt is a signal which is sent by a device or a software to operating system. Next point, second point. The interrupt signal causes the operating system to temporarily stop its works Okay, sorry students. Second point I have given as the interrupt signal causes the operating system to temporarily stop its works and service the interrupt using interrupt handler Okay, third point, service the interrupt using interrupt handler. Third point, generally there are two types of interrupts. First one, hardware interrupt. Generally there are two types of interrupts. First one, hardware interrupts. Second one, software interrupt. Okay, we'll write some examples for interrupt students. Write down examples. First example, a hardware error within brackets, paper jam in printer. A hardware error within brackets, paper jam in printer. There is a hardware interrupt. Example for a hardware interrupt. Second example, a disk is ready to receive more data. A disk is ready to receive more data. In that point also an interrupt occurs. Disk send a signal to operating system, I am ready to receive more data. Okay, a disk is ready to receive more data. That is also a hardware interrupt. Next, another example, the user press Alt plus Control plus Delete. Coming to whiteboard little. Hope you know what is that. That means Alt plus Control plus Delete. Then we can go to the task manager of the computer. We are writing examples for interrupts. So anytime if we need to go to the task manager, we can press Alt plus Control plus Delete. Okay, then a software interrupt occurs. Okay, the user press Alt Control Delete. So sorry, hardware interrupt occurs. On keyboard only we are giving the interrupt. So the user press Alt Control Delete. So hardware interrupt is occurs. I have given 3 examples for hardware interrupts. Paper jam in printer, a disk is ready to receive more data, and user press Alt Control Delete. Those are the examples for hardware interrupts. And write down some examples for software interrupts. A software error has occurred. A software error has occurred. For example, we are opening a software. Whenever an error is occurred in that particular software, an interrupt signal is going to the operating system. That is software interrupt. A software error has occurred. Okay, right. Then next, another example for software interrupt. A parent process needs to start a sub process. A parent process need to start a sub process. There are also software interrupt occurred. A parent process need to start a sub process. Okay, there are also software interrupt occurs. Another one example, I'll give a good example, day-to-day life example. A phone call on a mobile. A phone call on a mobile. That is also a software interrupt. For example, we are playing a game or we are doing something. What happened? A phone call is received. Students, hope you have that experience. For example, you are playing an audio, you are playing a kasida or something, you are hearing it. So whenever phone call is received, what happened? Students?
It stops.
Yeah, it stops. That is software interrupt. That means the that particular phone call, whenever it receives that particular, that means we'll think VLC media player is running. So media player sends an interrupt and it stops its works and it allows to answer the mobile phone call. After phone call, it resumes. That means it is playing again whenever. That means what is the point? It stops, it play again. So that is also a software interrupt. So those are the good examples for interrupt students. So there are two kinds of interrupts. So these interrupts are handled by interrupt handler. Okay. Next point, write down there. After examples, write down there. Hardware and software interrupts. Hardware and software interrupts are handled by interrupt handler. Are handled by interrupt handler in operating system. There's a program called interrupt handler in operating system. So whenever interrupt occurs, operating system handle that interrupt using interrupt handler. Right. Hope it's clear, students. Right. So today we have discussed many more things related to process management. Actually, we have discussed schedulers, long-term scheduler, short-term scheduler, and mid-term scheduler. And thereafter, we have discussed process control block, PCB, and what are the information stored in a PCB. And we have discussed context switching, what is context switching, and what are the situations context switching can be done. And finally, we have discussed interrupts. So software interrupts and hardware interrupts. I have given some examples for both software and hardware interrupts. And these interrupts are handled by interrupt handler in operating system. Right. For today, I am going to wind up the session, students. So sometimes it may be late while I am uploading the videos to the YouTube because of busy. So I have to edit those videos and upload it to the YouTube. It may take some time. So I'll try to upload the videos at least next day. That means if we conduct the class today, I'll try to upload it at least next day. Within that day, it is not possible because of other classes. So I can't, that means allocate time for that. Okay, right, students. So for today, I'm going to wind up the session. Inshallah, we'll meet on next class. And even I want to remember Friday class hereafter, we can't keep Friday morning class, students, because Friday morning, I have scheduled my O-level 2021 revision class. Hope you see that handout. I have shared my handouts. So Friday morning, group 1, we already we have scheduled a class group 1. That means we are discussing what in group 1 class. Yeah, digital fundamentals of digital circuits. No, so Friday it is not possible to keep the class. Other days okay. That means Monday I had that means I am not in good condition. That's why I didn't keep the class. Okay, right. Then we'll keep our next class Thursday, Wednesday, tomorrow. Yeah, Thursday. Tomorrow morning we have another class, a group 1 class. Okay, right. For today, we'll wind up the class. We'll meet on next class. Jazakallah khair.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome.